Pretty straightforward. Figure out why hitting a million blocks and a million transactions, especially this fast, is actually a big deal for Apertum.
Exactly. It's really about seeing, a new blockchain moving past just potential. We're seeing real measurable activity happening right now.
Okay, so let's unpack that. A million blocks, a million transactions, and all in under 4 months. That feels quick. How significant is that speed in, like, the blockchain world?
Oh, it's definitely significant. It signals real momentum. Look, it's lots of blockchains launch, right?
Yeah.
But hitting these numbers and crucially on the main network, not some test version,
Yeah, not a test net.
doing it so fast points to genuine interest,
Yeah.
real usage. Think of it like a brand new town suddenly having its first million people move in within just a few months.
Okay, that's a good analogy.
It suggests something pretty compelling is pulling people in.
And it's not just like phantom activity. We're seeing what, over 16,000 transactions every day, and these block times are super fast, 2.8 seconds.
hmm
What are people actually doing on Apertum? What's generating all this?
Well, the document lays out quite a few things. You've got people interacting with smart contracts,
Mm.
new digital tokens launching.
Okay.
There are bridges being set up to connect Apertum with other blockchains, and even NFTs, those digital collectibles, are being created or minted.
Wow. So a real mix of activity then.
Yeah, it shows a pretty diverse and active ecosystem already.
Now, the document really hammers this point, community-powered momentum. It says this isn't some top-down thing. So who makes up this community? Who's driving it?
Right. It seems to be coming from several key groups. You've got affiliates from something called DAO1, that's a decentralized autonomous organization,
Uh-huh.
and they're busy sharing info, bringing new users in. Then there are the builders, people using a tool called the Wizard.
The wizard. Okay.
Yeah, they're using it to launch their own tokens. Things like SKY, SFU, Puglord are mentioned.
Right.
And you can't forget the miners, the people actually running the network hardware. They're securing it, claiming APTM rewards. That's the native token.
Okay, so the miners are key too.
Absolutely. And of course, you have the traders on the decentralized exchanges, the DEXs, and the people providing liquidity there. They're all vital.
So it really is a collective effort. Now, all this activity, it has a cost, right? The document mentions real demand, real gas usage. What's gas here, and why does using it matter?
Okay, so think of gas basically as a tiny transaction fee.
Mm-hmm.
To do anything on Apertum Send tokens, use a smart contract, you need to pay a little bit of gas using the APTM token.
Ah, okay, like fuel for the network.
Exactly. So the more transactions, the more smart contracts get used, the more APTM gets, well, burned or used up.
Right.
And that demonstrates real, genuine demand for what the network offers.
Hmm.
It ties the value, directly to how much it's actually being used, not just people speculating on the price.
That makes a lot of sense. So bringing it back to the milestone, the million blocks, the million transactions, why is hitting that mark so important for Apertum's future, its survival?
Well, if you look at the bigger picture, many blockchain projects, they launch with hype, but then they fizzle out, or their tech can't keep up.
Yeah, we've seen that happen.
Reaching these numbers this quickly suggests Apertum has built something solid. The document argues basically that while lots of chains launch, very few show this kind of early activity and reliability.
Okay.
It proves the infrastructure is strong and, crucially, hence, it can actually handle more growth down the line. It's about survival and scalability.
And what are they aiming for next? Is there a new target?
Yeah, the document says the next goal is 10 million blocks.
10 million. Okay, ambitious.
Definitely. And the expectation is that the community keeps driving things, new projects, more users getting onboarded. All that activity should hopefully create more value, burn more APTM, and just keep the growth going.
Okay, so summing this up then, this deep dive suggests Apertum hitting 1 million blocks and transactions so fast isn't just a number to brag about.
No, not at all.
It seems to point to real people using it, a strong community pushing it forward, and tech that's actually holding up suggests it's maybe well set for what comes next.
Precisely. And I think what's really interesting is that combination of speed and the community-driven aspect. That feels dynamic. It suggests a sustainable path forward, potentially.
Absolutely. And, it makes you think, with a foundation like this growing so fast, so organically, what kind of new ideas, new apps could spring up here that maybe we haven't even thought of yet?
That's the exciting part, isn't it?
It really is. Well, that's something for you to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.